Hello class, I'm Marshall Reeves, your instructor, and this is a short video that's probably going to cover things that you already know, but I just want to make sure. I've got a system here where I've already got Visual Studio 2013 installed on it. Now, one of the things we're going to need to know so we can turn in our assignments is where we would actually find projects if we created them. Now, if you take the default location when you create a new project, you look in Windows Explorer and in your Documents folder, and then in Visual Studio 2013 file folder and Projects, you'll find the projects that you've created. Now, to turn one of these into me, you're going to need to turn it into a zipped file. And while you probably know this, this is an easy way to do it. If you just right click on the file and then click Send To and Compressed File, now we have a folder or a folder that's been zipped into a single file that you can turn in using Blackboard. Now I want to point out something else I've got in here. If you followed the steps in the textbook in the first couple of chapters, the author had you create a template file that you'll use over and over again. So this is my template file. I've just put it in here. It doesn't have to be a C# file with a C# extension. You could just have this as a notepad file or something. It's just a matter of the text that's in it. In fact, I edit this with Notepad++. So there's my information. Okay, now that we've covered where these files are located at when you save them, let's step through what the author wants us to do when we create a new project. I'm going to open up Visual Studio Express. Come up here and click on File, New Project. Okay, he wants us to use a Visual C#, Windows, and then an empty project. So I'm going to select that. I'm going to give this a name. I'm just going to call this Test Project. And I'm going to accept the path which goes to that folder that I was just in a few minutes ago in Documents, Visual Studio 2013 and Projects. I'm going to click OK. Now, I've got the project, and the next step he usually requests that you add references. Now the references are dynamic libraries that have the class references in them, or the templates for the objects that we're going to place in these files, or in these programs. So I'm going to click on Project and Add References, and he nearly always has us add System, and then System Drawing, and then finally System Windows Form. Click OK. Right. At this point, we're ready to add a form to the project, and the easy thing to do would just be to click on Project and Add Windows Form, but the author doesn't have us do that. He typically has us add New Item. We get the list here. Windows Form is one of the things that's on the list. And a couple of the examples in the book, he does have us use a Windows form, because then the first thing he has us do is open it up and delete all the code in it and replace it with the code from that template we created. Maybe a little bit easier way to do it is just to add a code file, and we're going to name it FRM main for main form. We're going to add that to the project. Okay, now we've got the main form here and it's got nothing in it. So at this point I can go back to that template that I created. I can open it up. I can select all the text. I can copy it. I can paste it in here. And now this has become a form, and if I double click on it, we'll see we can actually see the blank form. Okay, there's one other step that the author has us do on all these projects, and that is to change the project properties. So I'm going to come down here to test project properties. I'm going to change the startup object to the form, the main form, and I'm going to change the output type to Windows application. So this is the basics of how we're going to start all projects in the book. Like I said, you probably already knew this, but now we've covered it. So I'm going to file and save all, and I'm going to go ahead and close this out, and that's the end of this video.